Hello class, today we're going to talk about figurative language. Figurative language is what we use to better analyze a piece of literature. When we talk about literature, we're talking about anything you read. One must know the meaning of figurative language or other literary devices. Okay, so today we're just going to talk about figurative language. Other times we're going to talk about literary devices, just not today. Okay? So, what is figurative language? Okay, it is the language that has meaning beyond the literal meaning. Okay, like figures of speech. You say different phrases, and we got to kind of figure out what they mean. Whenever you describe something by comparing it with something else, you are using figurative language. It is used in poetry a lot, and then it also can be used in music as well. And as we saw from our first video in this lesson, it is used a lot in movies, different types of movies, especially different types of animated cartoons that Disney makes. Okay, so our first one that we're going to talk about is, let's see if I can get it going here. Similes. Okay, so a simile is a comparison using like or as. So this one might be one of the easier ones to kind of pick out. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, by Forrest Gump. He's using the word like to compare life to a box of chocolates. Some other examples are, her eyes are as blue as the sea. Her eyes are like the sea. Both ones are using like or as. You are comparing her eyes to the sea. Her eyes are not literally the sea. They're maybe comparing it by the color or that they're big. We're not real sure. Okay, our next one is going to be a metaphor. Well, a metaphor is very similar to a simile, but it does not use like or as. It just kind of states something and it compares two things. States something you are. Unlike a simile, it's more certain, but also using comparison. Okay, so over in our little box, it says, the greater part of the untested men appeared quiet and observed. They were going to look at the war, the red animal, the blood-swollen god. And this is a quote taken from the Red Badge of Courage, but it's comparing two different things. Our next one that we're going to look at is personification. This one can get kind of fun because it gives human-like traits are given to inanimate objects. So you can kind of use this in your writing to help describe things. When an object or something that is non-living has attributes of a living creature. One of the most common ones I like to use in class is when we say, oh, look outside, the trees are dancing in the wind. Well, are they really dancing? No. But we give it a human quality. We make it kind of act like it's human. There's many ways that you could change that and use it as examples. The next one is a hyperbole. These are extreme exaggerations, things that don't really even make sense, but you kind of get what they're saying. So, this one says it's a podiatry hyperbole since it has to do with your feet, but it says, my feet are killing me. Well, are they really killing them? Nope. They're really just meaning that they're really sore or they really hurt. Okay? The same thing with, you pick up something. Oh man, my book weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Well, not really 1,000,000 pounds, but you're trying to get across the fact that it's really heavy. The next one we have is alliteration. Alliteration might be another fairly easy one to figure out. It's the repetition of the same sounds at the beginning of each word in a phrase. Here's a very common one. Sandy sells seashells by the seashore. People like to try to get you to say that 10 times fast and see if you can still make it out at the end. Or we could say Dunkin' Donuts, Coca-Cola, American Airlines, Bed Bath & Beyond. All of those small phrases, both words, or most of the words in the phrase start with the same beginning sound. Onomatopoeia. These I think are sometimes your favorite words because they're words that imitate sounds. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Crash, boom, ugh, pow. The biggest part of onomatopoeia is remembering the word. You know that it's called something, you know sound words are called something, you just got to remember that word, onomatopoeia. And our last one, is idiom. Okay? An expression that does not mean the same as the literal meaning. Okay, in this case, they say, a frog in my throat. Well, it doesn't really mean you have a frog in your throat. It means something is happening where your voice is kind of different, or you're having a hard time getting something out because your throat's scratchy or it hurts. But that's just one saying. One of your favorite ones I hear quite a bit is, it's raining cats and dogs. Well, is it really raining cats and dogs? No, but it's kind of a phrase that we use, an idiom that we use to say that it is raining a lot. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can always come back and rewatch this, where we're going to move on to your assignment.